410. Everybody is walking up to the microphones now.
Yes.
Once again, Sheriff T.K. Waters, Mayor Donna Deegan, Jim Pickett is over there, our own Alicia Hatcher, and of course, Fire Chief Keith Powers. We're going to hear from all of them.
Yeah, Mayor Donna Deegan speaking now. Let's listen in.
And then I'm going to hand it over to the folks that have been doing the search. I want to start off by saying that for the moment, it certainly looks like, as awful as this is, that everything that we can see so far, they've been able to, through drones and dogs, examine pretty much every car in there beyond maybe one, and have gotten confirmation that everybody so far looks to be okay. So looks optimistic at the moment. Obviously we can't say 100% right now, but the parking garage, the third level of the parking garage collapsed around 12:14 this afternoon. And these guys got here very quickly and began the efforts of getting people out of the stairwells and making sure everybody was okay and doing the investigation. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chief Powers and let him tell you more.
Thank you, Mayor. So like she said, at 12:14 today, we got a call for a building collapse. We put approximately 75 firefighters on scene. Part of our urban search and rescue team was here, along with our live find canines and our cadaver canines as well. Initially, they, like the mayor said, we had to get some people out of the stairwells, help them back. They weren't trapped, but just help evacuate them out of the stairwells next to the parking garage. And then we began the search of the actual parking garage underneath the collapse. So there's a couple vehicles that are in this collapse zone that are mashed pretty flat, and the structure is not safe at this time. And so we have to be very careful putting personnel in there. So we use dogs, we use JSO, brought their drone unit out, and we use drones to do part of those searches, and then we had to do some actual human search as well. But so far, like the mayor said, we have not found anything, but until we can finish unpiling some of that stuff and get structural engineers in here to make sure it's safe, we can't say 1,000% that everybody is accounted for now. JSO it can talk to in just a minute, talk about what the side they're working on helping to confirm people's cars that are parked in that garage. But right now we just can't say 1,000%, but we're pretty confident that everybody's safe. The building that's going to be next door to the parking garage and the building that's going to be on the other side, on the farther south of that, Josh Gideon from Municipal Code Compliance is here to talk about it, but they're going to have to condemn those buildings because of the concern of the parking garage finishing the collapse and failing, which could compromise either one of those buildings. So to keep those people safe, we're going to keep people out until the building owner can get a structural engineer out here and they can do something with the collapsed part of that building. The building next door, so JFRD has a responsibility to do inspections in that building next door, the office building. That inspection was done on October the 12th of last year, and a follow-up inspection was done on December 29th. So we do those annually, so it's within the year's period. The building owner is responsible for, by state statute and by city ordinance, for doing inspections on the parking garage itself. And they can answer any questions related to inspections on that. And with that, like I said, our urban search and rescue team did some pretty heroic effort. That is a very unstable parking garage right now, and we had some men and women from JSO and JFRD that really put themselves in harm's way to make sure that people were safe. And I just got to say thank you to both of those teams. With that, I'm going to bring up Jamie Eason from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to talk about their part of this.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief of Patrol Jamie Eason. Like the mayor and Chief Powers already stated, officers were here pretty fast. We used officers from 3 different districts to help mitigate this. They were here and assisted some people that were in the stairwells, and so we were pretty confident that we got the majority of everybody out at that time. Then at that time, JFRD arrived on scene and we became a support service for them. We handled the traffic and the security of the building and making sure that nobody enters that building. We'll continue to do so. Like JFRD has their side of how they are going to handle this. We're obviously going to be the security aspect of this, and officers will be here as long as needed to make sure that our community and the hospital and surrounding neighbors are safe. Thank you.
With that, we can take any questions. We have a representative from St. Vincent's here, and we also have Josh Gideon from Municipal Code Compliance with the city that's here to take any questions you may have.
Can anybody say how it happened, what happened, how this
No is the answer. Obviously, we're very early into this, and there'll be a full investigation done. There'll be engineers brought out and look at that, but right now there's nobody prepared to say what happened. Some kind of structural failure, but we don't know what.
Chief, what's the layout of this? Is this a central parking garage flanked and connected to two office buildings, or what?
It's up beside one of the office buildings over here, and then on the other side of it is a residential facility related to St. Vincent's, but it's up close to one of their medical facilities.
So when you say condemned, does that mean condemned permanently or condemned barring reinforcement?
No, it's condemned until some structural engineers can get on scene and determine the best way to stabilize that failed structure. Once that's stabilized, that engineer will make a determination of when people can go back into their offices and go to work. But until that happens, for safety reasons, we have to keep people out of those buildings.
When is the engineer expected to be here on the scene?
That's up to the building owner, and they'll have to arrange that.
How many people were evacuated from the stairwells? Do you have an approximate number?
I do not have an approximate number.
How many cars are left there, and when can people retrieve their vehicles?
Yeah. There's actually, so like Chief Powers stated, that we actually were able to send in drones to ensure that we wanted to put eyes on every single car that we possibly could in there and get tags so that we could, get people identified. So we have about 111 cars in there that we've counted. And the tag numbers to those.
And when can people retrieve those cars?
At this point, we don't have an answer to that. It's going to be up to the structural engineers that come up with that.
For the building owner, the inspection on this, when was it done? We've heard people telling us there was scaffolding up there not long ago holding it up. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, really, we just want to say thank you to our first responders for their immediate action on this event, and we appreciate them. We're grateful that it seems no one was injured. We're also grateful for our care staff who ensured continuity of care for all Ascension St. Vincent's Riverside patients. We are conducting an investigation, and to do so, we will be working with JFRD. At this time, however, in this point in the investigation, we're obtaining more information, and I'm going to have to circle back on that when I do have more information.
But was it inspected?
At this point in the investigation, I just need to get more information, and when I have that information, I will be able to provide it.
And is it associated with the Chartrand building, the cardiac care? We've been hearing different things. What is it used for, and who uses it?
So this parking garage is used for our staff, for any resident who's staying at the location to the left of the building, the River House, as well as for patients.
Are you aware that the company that built the parking garage had another garage that collapsed a couple of years ago? And can you talk about that?
At this point in the investigation, I really can't speak to that, and we just really need to obtain more information.
And who was the builders of the parking garage?
I just think we really just need to obtain more information before we can speak to that.
What time did you close your ER, and has it reopened yet?
The ER remained open the entire time. We were accepting patients through our Dillon entrance, which is close to our main entrance, and then we were escorting them down to the ER. So the ER has and will continue to remain open.
One more question.
Chief, you were at the Berkman collapse, correct?
Late in the game, I wasn't on the initial assignment.
But how would this compare to Berkman?
Berkman was a much larger and more catastrophic collapse. Pretty much, as you could see from the footage, it really, there was a lot of damaged area. This is kind of isolated into a smaller area than was what was at Berkman.
And people coming through here, they're going to want to know when they can start driving. Get any idea when you're going to be opening?
Yeah, that's a JSO question.
That's a question we've been getting to.
No, and that's a good question actually. We're as soon as this is over, the streets are going to be open. The only streets that's going to be closed is right there at the ER, the entrance to the ER hospital. That street right there, St. John's and King. That's going to be closed off to go down that way towards the parking garage. Other than that, St. John's, all of these streets will be open for access for the community.
Thank you very much.
And your name, sir?